Drago averages 1,850 pounds. So the result's quite obvious.
And what results are those?
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
What's up, guys? Thank you once again for tuning in as always. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you for all the ones that are leaving comments and people that are coming back to watch other videos. Much appreciated. I feel like I'm on a building site right now. There's so much going on just outside my building. So if you hear crazy amounts of noise, hopefully it doesn't detract away from the video, and apologies in advance. Alright, let's get straight into it. Vinnie Jones Saunders versus Willie Monroe Jr. has just been announced. It's a fight that will, we hope, take place in September. And it's a fight I think that makes decent sense. Okay, first things first, let's kind of get this one out of the way straight away. Some people are not happy about Vinnie Jones Saunders, obviously a world title, world champion for a couple of years. A lot of people are unhappy about the opponent in terms of it being Willie Monroe Jr. I know for a fact that Frank Warren and Billy Joe and the rest of you team have been trying to get other competitors. They did try and get David Lemieux. I think David Lemieux has released a statement himself saying he didn't want the fight. He's waiting for bigger things, he says, in terms of Miguel Cotto. And I think he even kind of suggested that it's a risk fighting Billy Joe Saunders when he thinks that Cotto is in the future. And it's strange saying this because Oscar De La Hoya seemingly said the same thing. When GGG wanted to fight Billy Joe Saunders right now, June, July, Oscar kind of said, if you do that, we're not going to go ahead with the Canelo fight because they perceive Billy Joe to be a risk for most people, right? In other words, I think GGG looked at it as a walk in the park fight. Oscar looked at it as it's a bit of a risky one. So that kind of says the talent that a lot of people out there think Billy Joe Saunders has. I'm very mixed when it comes to Billy Joe Saunders. I think, look, he's a fantastic fighter. He's got 24 fights, 24 wins, 12 knockouts. What's that, 50% KO record? That's very, very decent. Obviously, we know he hasn't really stepped into world elite level yet. Andy Lee probably being the exception to that. I think Andy Lee's probably world level, maybe just fringe world level. I think when he fought Chris Eubank Jr. wasn't very much unproven. But nonetheless, he's unbeaten. My problem with Billy Joe Saunders personally is inactivity. This is a guy that hasn't fought, well, has only fought twice since he beat Andy Lee in December 2015. His last fight was December 2016 against Akavov, and that was a very lackluster performance. And I think someone like Billy Joe needs to stay active. If he doesn't stay active, he balloons in weight, and we've seen that in some of the press conferences and some of the videos he's put out there. He fights 160 pounds. I'd say, fair to say, he walks around about 210 pounds. He does look like a big guy, maybe even 220. I think he walks around that big, and that's a problem for me. I think for longevity in this sport, especially for someone like Billy Joe, who's not the tallest, I think for longevity in the sport, you need to stay in shape. You need to stay in shape, and there's a reason the likes of Hopkins can go on to his late 40s, early 50s. Floyd Mayweather fighting into 40s. Even Carl Froch, late in career, into the late 30s. They stay in fantastic physical shape. And I feel like a lot of these younger boxers that balloon up in weight and have to almost get in shape in the gym where they should be really sharpening their tools, your career just isn't going to last long. And inactivity is going to make that even worse. And I just kind of feel like Billy Joe Saunders, some due to himself, some due to not himself. Obviously, the recent fight with the guy pulling out, that's not his fault. But you kind of feel like him and his team really need to look at what they want to do in terms of set targets, and this is what we want to achieve, and kind of set some goals. Because I feel like with Billy Joe Saunders, it's almost pissed in the wind right now. I don't know what's going on, but I think Willie Monroe Jr. Is a decent fight. What it does do more than anything, it gets I guess it gets the American public interested, right? An American fighter's fighting in the UK, it kind of gets the American public somewhat interested. It's come around that September time when there's a lot of fights going on. Obviously, Golovkin, Canelo will be going on around the same time, so everyone's going to be interested in this middleweight kind of shake-up. And I think Billy Joe Saunders, if he puts in a good performance, puts himself in a shake-up for the winner of GGG Canelo, right? He's got a belt, and whoever wins that fight is an opportunity to clean house. So I think a good performance against Willie Monroe does put him there. Is he capable of beating Monroe? Yes, I think if we see the Billy Joe Saunders that turned up against Andy Lee, the Billy Joe Saunders that turned up for the first 6 rounds against Chris Eubank Jr., he's a very, very good boxer with a very good amateur record. I just don't know how serious he is. If he is serious, I mean, he's training with Adam Booth, and Adam Booth really does put people into not just physical shape, but mentally good shape as well, then, look, there's a fantastic chance we can see good things from Billy Joe Saunders. And I think there's a good chance he can get a very, very good victory here. Willie Monroe is a name. He's probably a top 15 fighter. He's obviously just recently beat Ed Rosado. He's been in there with GGG. He beat Brian Vera. So he's a name. He's a name that people know. People know because of the GGG fight. So it's good. And I think it's also good that we found out that they did try and get David Lemieux. So I think a lot of people give promoters stick when a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes. And I think if David Lemieux didn't say that he turned the fight down, we wouldn't have believed that Frank Warren actually did reach out to David Lemieux. So I think it's good to see that we are trying to get Billy Joe Saunders in the mix. I think David Lemieux is a top 5 middleweight. So I think him fighting a fellow top 5 middleweight is a good thing. It's a great thing. And I think that would have definitely cemented the winner of that fight, definitely fighting Canelo GGG. But regardless, I think if Billy Joe Saunders does win, and I do think he will beat Willie Monroe Jr., he will fight the winner of GGG Canelo if GGG doesn't go up to 168. I think GGG probably might. But nonetheless, I'm happy. I want to see Billy Joe Saunders in the ring. I think he is fantastic for the sport. He talks really well. He does sell fights. I think he does need to get a move on right now. He does need to. I feel like he is living off the Andy Lee and Chris Eubank performances too much. So I think we need to start seeing something good from Billy Joe Saunders. Not what we saw against Akavov. That's not going to get you the win against Willie Monroe Jr. But the good thing is Willie Monroe Jr. can't punch. I think Willie's got 23 or 24 fights. I think only 6 KOs. He cannot punch. And I don't think he can outbox Billy Joe as well. So if Billy Joe is in shape, physically and mentally, should get the job done. If he's not in shape, Willie Monroe could cause an upset. And it'll be a big one as well. But what do you guys think? Billy Joe Saunders, Willie Monroe Jr. I think September the 16th, if I'm correct. A, will it even happen? We've seen so many pullouts with Billy Joe recently. And B, is it a good matchup? And C, is it a matchup where the winner deserves to fight Canelo GGG? I mean, does Billy Joe deserve that fight based on his last 3 or 4 fights? I'm not sure. But it's fair to say the middleweight division isn't brimming with talent right now, so I can see how Billy Joe does get that fight if GGG, who I think will beat Canelo, does stay at the 160 division. But I want you guys to tell me what you think. Are you happy with the fight? Does Billy Joe need to seek pastures new? And I don't like people leaving their promoters, but if you're Billy Joe, do you look at what's going on in terms of big fights, in terms of massive crowds at Matchroom and think, I need some of that? Or are you happy fighting at the Copper Box and wherever else he's been fighting recently? I wouldn't be. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below, and thank you once again for tuning in. Cheers.